Good morning, I'm Ruth Poole. I'm a current member. I've been a member in other different clubs, so I haven't been a member in this club very long, but I've been in Toastmasters for about 25 years.
Morning, I'm Mike Winkles. I am a current member. I joined February 2012 to Chamber Toastmasters, the best club on the planet.
Good morning, I'm Christy Sorensen. I'm a current member of this club and I work here in Rochester, Minnesota.
Jerome Lansing, current member, and it's been a joy to work with this club, be a member of it. You're very welcoming and just a fun group to be with. Have a great day.
Morning, my name is Ann Simmerlink. I'm a current member of Chambers since June of 2018.
Good morning. My name is Eric Gatz, and I am with Cooley Bank in Rochester. I have been a part of this club for almost 5 years now, and I'm the current president, and I will shut up to not get us behind.
Hello, I'm Dina Lynn Rosenbush and I have been a member of this group for 4 months.
Ross Messick. I'm a former member of the club. I'm a mentor to the charter. I was not originally a member of the club, but it was such an extraordinary experience. I did eventually join Chamber Toastmasters.
Good morning. My name's Jeff Burns. I'm retired and I am a current member of Chamber Toastmasters.
I am Stephen Rose. I was one of the original members of this club and helped start it and the first president.
Good morning. My name's Clint Calvert. I'm a former member of this club.
My name's Donnie Rolls. I'm a current member, and I think I joined 3 years ago in 2019.
Hi, I'm Rick Lee from Charlie's in Cycle City, and I'm a forever member.
I'm Hannah Alsop, and I am a very, very slow learner. I belong to Club Break of Day, which no longer exists. And I started when there were only 3 Toastmasters Club in Rochester. Long, long time ago.
Good morning. My name is Farhad, the current member for 1 year. Thank you.
Craig Weckworth. I'm a current member of Chamber Toastmasters, been a member since 2013. And lest I not take the opportunity to say thank you to my mentor, Amit Ghosh, is online this morning. Hi, Amit. Thank you.
Good morning, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests as well. My name's Dave Hansen. I've been a member of this club since 2011, 2012. Whenever Rick invited me here, that's when I've been a member. It's been a great time. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, everyone at Charlie's today. Now I'm going through the list of people who are joined us in Zoom. Again, same type introduction, your name, if you're a member, former member, guest, and if you're a guest, tell us where you're coming from today. So this is the list I'm going to start working through. Nee Chow, and I believe, Nee, you have a guest today too with us.
Hi, my name is Nee, and I've been a member for about 12 years. And he is Hannah. She can introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a guest. First time at Toastmasters, so I'm behind.
You are not behind, and Toastmaster we're never late. Always ahead. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Rebecca Snap.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rebecca Snap. I am a current member. I think I've joined about 4 years ago, and it seems to be the trend that if Rick invites you, you become a member.
Shelley Shell.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shelley Shell. I'm a current member, and I've been a member for not quite 5 years. It's been a true honor to be a part of this group, and welcome back, everyone.
Gwen Carmen.
Morning, everyone. I'm Gwen Carmen, Superintendent for the Lewis and Altura School District, and have been a member for about 6 months.
Polly,
Hi, my name is Polly. I have been a member for only 2 months, and I am behind today because I have no idea how many minutes the speaker will be. So if someone can shoot me an email, that would be great. Thanks.
okay. Polly, we'll get that info to you. Carpegum,
Hi, I'm Kapagam Maran, retired. I joined in 2001 when my hair was all black, and I'm still a member.
thank you. Ganga,
Hi, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. This is Ganga Gopalkrishnan. I'm a current member for less than a year, but I've been a Toastmaster for 25 years with various clubs. And I like the inclusivity of this group and the variety of topics. Thank you.
Fazzy,
Good morning. My name is Fazi Amir Ahmadi, and I've been a member since 2014 and way behind Carpagal.
Amen.
Good morning. My name is Amit Ghosh. I was joined in 2012. I'm a physician now in Mayo Clinic. Thank you. Nice to see so many wonderful faces.
And we have Amen. If my voice is not carrying, I'm sorry today.
My name is Amen Amushan, and I just joined recently this June, so I am behind everybody here.
Thank you. Andon,
Good morning, Andon Carling. I'm a former member from about 2016 to 2018. I'm now joining from California, where I'm about 2 hours behind.
Julia,
Hi, everyone. My name is Julia. So good to see you all. I'm a former member, and now I'm in Minsk in Belarus. Thank you.
John, John Milron. Okay. Vivian,
Hello, good evening from Manila, Philippines. I'm not behind. If you want to know what's going to happen later today, I'm your future. It's 8:15 p.m. And I'm a member of 2 clubs in Sacramento, California. Thank you for welcoming me back, regardless of my wackiness. I love you.
Kelly,
I'm Kelly Paulson. I am a former member, and I'm here in Rochester, Minnesota.
Annie,
Hi, everyone. I'm Annie. I'm a former member, and I have my friend here with me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gurchit. I'm Annie's guest, and we're both tuning in from Beijing today.
thank you for joining us today. Amrika,
Hi, good morning. My name is Amrika. I'm Nee's guest, and I'm behind as I haven't yet joined this club, but would love to.
is John still on? Okay, he must have dropped. Thank you, everyone, for introductions. It is a little bit amazing just seeing where we have made contact in the past 2 years here, not only within Rochester, but literally around the world. One of the traditions in our club, which I've always enjoyed, is opening with humor. It's not necessarily a Toastmasters defined speech. We let people go ahead and talk about what they want to for a couple minutes to warm up the crowd and make us feel like we are in a good mood today. And today our humor master is Jeff Burns. Help me welcome Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Toastmasters,
most welcome guests. Happy anniversary. When I first started in Toastmasters, I heard about this competition, speech competition. And that's where I first started meeting these individuals from Chamber Toastmasters. First competition was where I met Dave Hansen. He came onto the stage banging frying pans together. And he was jutting out that Jay Leno chin in defiance. I was way behind. I knew I had a lot of work to do to catch up with this guy. A couple years later, I met Clint Calvert in an evaluation competition. I thought I had done well, but then they brought Clint out and he brought this little notepad and he started detailing everything that this speaker had done right and the few things that he could improve on. And I thought to myself, I need one of them notepads. Distinguished Toastmaster Clint Calvert, I remember you went all the way to the top. You were #1 in the district, and it was a pleasure to hear your speech that day on your evaluation. I finally had the opportunity to step foot in Chamber Toastmasters off of Broadway. I was area governor. I was nervous because I heard that this club tended to go outside of the box. They maybe bend the rules a little bit. As I was waiting for the door to open up, nobody was there. I was early, dressed in a suit, trying to look my finest. This gentleman came in with a snowmobile suit. He had ridden his motorcycle in, and it was a winter day. This gentleman by the name of Rick Lean. He opened up the door. He had a helmet along. He was the sergeant at arms. The sergeant at arms makes sure everything's right and the coffee's made and so forth. First, he shook my hand and, oh, what are you doing with visiting us today? And I said, well, I'm the area governor. And Rick gave me the sneer. I thought I smelled something. Welcome to Chamber Toastmasters. As I moved on through my career, I had the opportunity to finally join this fine club. And the great speakers within this club have taught me immensely. There's Hannah Elshoff, excuse me. I'll never forget another competition I was in. And here, Hannah was up on stage as a German milking maiden. She had the old style dress on. She had the staff to hook whatever animal she needed to hook. She had the milkmaid hat. I'm like, holy cow. And as she began to speak, she just like that changed gears in her story. And with one fell swoop, with one hand, she ripped off that milkmaiden outfit, threw off the hand, dropped the staff, and to her astonishment, she had a business-like outfit and went on with her story. I mentioned to my wife, how do you beat that? And I glanced back in the crowd and I think every gentleman in the crowd fell in love with Hannah. Chamber Toastmasters, happy anniversary. It's been a pleasure to be in this club and I've learned so much from you. Mr. Toastmaster.
Jeff, thank you. For those online today, we have copies of the cover and title from our chartering ceremony from 1992. And at that point, we have 3 people listed in that program who are with us today. I want to recognize them. Ross Messick, who, as he mentioned, was helping to charter the club. Stephen Rose, who was first president of the club. And Rick Lean, charter member. And I asked Rick to speak today and give his thoughts about what 30 years have meant. Rick is going to talk about change, not pocket change, but different type of change. Help me welcome Rick.
Thank you, Tim. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, past friends, guests, and those in Zoom land. Annie, are you there? Annie won
Here.
a drink chit or a meal chit to Charlie's and she didn't redeem it, so I spent it for her. I just wanted you to know that I went to a good cause. Went to a good cause.
Happy to help.
What can I say? Today is June the 2nd, 2022. Just a normal Toastmasters meeting. But it just so happens it coincides with the chartering of this club some 30 years ago. Now we can reminisce about all those things and all the things that happened with Chamber Toastmasters, but it got me thinking about what other things happened in life and in the world in that 30, 40 years. And after I went down the list, and there were a lot of things on the list, I came up with 4, not 3, but 4 things, events that I thought kind of paralleled this time with Toastmasters. The first thing was in the late 80s, was the internet. Now, what a strange thing that was for those who preceded the internet, because it changed everything. I like to think of it as the death sound for the Encyclopedia Britannica. Because at that point in time, the Encyclopedia Britannica, the encyclopedias as we know it, had no relevancy. They were nothing more than doorstops. And that's what happened to most of that stuff. But it changed how we viewed information. Prior to that, and if you go back to medieval days, and I don't go back quite that far, but your status in life was determined by the number of books you had, because if you had books, you had the money to buy them, and books were very rare. The internet changed all of that. About 10 years later, another thing happened that kind of fed off the internet, and that was the smartphone. Not the BlackBerry, not the flip phone, but the smartphone. All of a sudden, we had this portability. All of a sudden, we had this access. All of a sudden, we had chances to do a lot of things, talk to a lot of people in a different sort of way. It was very real. If you were talking about cooking, it smelled great. We still have smartphones today. Us older folks, I'm talking about Hannah, because I certainly don't fall in that category, haven't quite adjusted to full use of the smartphone, but she's working on it. Now, if you follow down, about another 10 years, we get away from things to events. And I think you all know what I'm talking about. 9/11. It changed everything. It brought the US into the real world. Prior to that, we saw ourselves as an island, protected by a couple of oceans, the Canadians to the north and the Mexicans to the south. This was our first touch of terrorism and all that stuff in America. It raised a fervor of patriotism that still exists today. Suddenly, we're the good guys in everybody's eyes, except for the terrorists. Unfortunately, it led us down some very dark paths in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and a multitude of other places. Finally, go ahead about another 10 years. We enter another dark period. Fall 2019. What is this virus coming out of Asia? Coronavirus, can't pronounce it. COVID-19, well, yeah, it's just one of those things that'll affect the rest of the world. Within a short period of time, a very, very short period of time, everything's infected. We were naive to believe that none of that would touch us. We're naive to believe that we can handle all this. And with great humility, we face the prospect that, no, we're just another country that has a few more bucks to throw at healthcare. Now, if you think about this segment from the internet to COVID-19, it is a 30, 40-year period. slice out of the line of mankind. It's no big deal. Don't mean to say that those aren't important things, but these things have been going along for time since its time's been recorded. And they're going to continue. What's next? I don't know. Is it another virus like the monkeypox? Probably not. But the public health people are saying they're preparing you for the fact that it's naive to believe that there won't be something else coming. In the Ukraine, we're faced with the prospect of an ever widening war. They use the word nuclear event. This is scary. This is not a conversation that we've had seriously for many, many years. Where is it going? I don't know, but it is scary. One of the other things they're talking about is famine, because the Ukraine is a great provider of grains and other things, particularly to third world countries. Now, nobody in this room is going to go hungry because of something that happens in terms of the food from the Ukraine. But there are an awful lot of people in third worlds that will die. It's as simple as that. Will there be new devices? Will there be a new smartphone? No, conceptually, there needs to be something else. But I bet in some of your lifetimes, somebody will be standing on the planet Mars. Yeah, we're going to Mars. I didn't think that was possible, but Elon Musk seems to think he can get us there, and he seems to be able to pull this stuff off. So there are going to be changes. What does this have to do with Toastmasters? Toastmasters is just kind of a speck that goes along. But we've been part of this since the internet. We've been part of this since the birth of the smartphone. We've been part of this since 9/11. We've been part of this since COVID. We have a Zoom meeting here that in part is a product of COVID. What's going to happen in the future? I don't know. I would say this: embrace the great stuff and try to control the bad stuff. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you for the speech and for your thoughts today. So at this point, we will go into table topics and testimonials. And so I'm not going to fall too far behind. Christy, let's do 2 table topics. And we already have 6 people that are wanting to share testimonials. Polly, again, we'll time all these at 1, 1.5, and 2 minutes. Christy, I'll let you take over for table topics and I'll help you with the testimonials. Help me welcome Christy.
Thank you, Tim. Welcome. Excuse me. Excuse me. Welcome, Toastmasters and guests. Thank you to Dave, Tim, Craig, Ruth, Eric, anybody who helped set us up this morning in this room and plan this get together. It's truly amazing and a great time for us to celebrate. For the guests in the room, table topics is a portion of the meeting that allows us to practice extemporaneous speaking. Usually the person, the table topic master, me, will come up with a question and then surprise somebody who has to come up here and speak for 1 minute to 2 minutes. So 1 minute is our goal for today. Let's not try to get to 2 minutes so we can get our testimonials in as well. I'll do a normal table topic to start with, and then we're just going to get crazy. That's why they asked me to do this. All right. My first question is about longevity and our parents. But Kelly online is my sister. Our parents are 83 to 85 years old. I'm very blessed. We're very blessed that they're both still alive and well. But my parents are behind Ross's. So Ross, if you don't mind coming up and tell everybody what you told me this morning about your parents, because I think that's such a great story.
Christy, members of Chamber Toastmasters Club and guests of honor. Christy asked me about my parents. On March 31st of this year, We celebrated my dad's 100th birthday. My mom is a youngster by comparison. She's only 98. The two of them live independently, relatively speaking. They're dependent on each other to get by. Without one, the other would probably be living in assisted living. But they are in a facility that welcomes, it's suited for senior citizens, elderly people. My parents can still keep a conversation going. They're right mentally here, and it's a joy to be around them. I have other longevity. My mother's grandmother, great-grandmother, lived to be 97. She was a farmer in Eden Prairie. They immigrated from Ireland, homesteaded land in Eden Prairie. So longevity is part of my genetics, part of my family heritage. It's frightening to think about living another, let's say, 30 years. And with respect to what Rick shared with us, that the change that will come through my prospective longevity, no guarantees, but I expect to live as long as my parents. And I'm happy with that.
Thank you, Ross. We'll do one more table topic, and then we will invite people to come up to talk about their experience with Chamber Toastmasters. For the second table topic, I'd like to call on both Andon and Amen, only because your names sound familiar. So Craig, if you'll pin them for me. Amen, as a new member, what I'd like you to do is pretend the rest of us aren't here. I want you to have a conversation with Andon and tell him what you're most nervous about in joining this Toastmaster Club. And then Andon, I want you to respond and tell her what your experience was and whether she does really have to be worried or maybe not. So Amen, if you can begin, maybe just 30 seconds about what you're worried about or what's on your mind.
Thank you. So, Andon, as a new member, I am worried that I may not be as good as every other person here who speaks so well and they're so good at their speeches, but I'm willing to learn. If you can give me a tip or two on how to do that, I would really appreciate it.
Yes, so welcome to the club, both literally and figuratively, because I think the vast majority of people who join this club feel the exact same way. We all come in feeling a little bit behind, a little bit intimidated by the fact that there are so many good speakers here. But you have to remember that we all started where you are. And we all had to learn along the way. And one of the best things that I loved about this club was not just the opportunity to speak, but the fellowship and the support and the friendship that you develop here. We're all a team. And even if you go up and you completely flub, you completely forget your lines and you sit back down feeling embarrassed, there are people here that will rally behind you, give you great advice, support you, and encourage you the next time. And so my experience in the club is not only that I improve in speaking, but I actually enjoyed public speaking by the end of it. And I know you'll be the same way.
Thank you.
Andon has joined us a couple times, and it is 5 o'clock in the morning in California, so we must have to get up by 4:30. So that's how much he loves us. So I knew I could count on Andon to say a good word or two. I do have one more. I'd like to do another double. I'd like to have Julia and Annie both on the screen. Both of you are calling in from other countries, and I'd like you to just take 30 seconds and tell us about the country that you're in and what you love about it. And we'll start with Julia. I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you, Christy. Oh, first of all, I would like to say that I have a little thing from Rochester. And first of all, I would like to say that I have all of you here with me. So I really miss you. And I really I know that I use really too often. I need to practice more. I had a great experience in Rochester and in Toastmaster. For me, Rochester Club means Rochester, means people. So I would say that this is my biggest memory. But on the other hand, I feel happy to be back at home here in Belarus, to be with my family, with my friends, and what they noticed when I came back, that I'm a different person, and that what I also think that that is what I brought home with me, this experience, also thanks to you. My country is very small, and but I would say that in some way it's similar to Minnesota. We have a lot of lakes, a lot of forests, and I know that you would enjoy it if you ever come to visit me. Maybe it's not the best time right now, but I hope for the better, that someday it will be safe to travel. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So we are currently in Beijing, China right now. I think China beyond the obvious. So the beautiful scenery, the thousands of years of history, the amazing food. China holds a really personal meaningful relationship for me because my parents are from China. And I think the best part about this experience is being able to live life like my parents did. So imagining the steps that my parents took when they were in college, the snacks that they had, the breakfasts they ate, the rusty bikes that they biked between the different schools. And I think to me, it's so meaningful to not only understand my parents' experience, but also to understand the culture, the context in which they grew up in. So this year, although most of it we've been locked into Beijing, unfortunately, I think it's still been just as rewarding and everything that I've kind of expected and more, to be able to be here, to learn more about my family, my culture, my roots, and really bring all that back with me to the US, to Rochester, and to you all, Chamber Toastmasters. Thank you.
Sherry. One of the testimonies.
I'll do with that.
We'll start first with Mike Winkles. Mike, we'd like to come up and talk a little bit about Chamber Toastmasters.
I think Andon was at my last speech. Standing up here, and what's so good about this lectern here is that you can't see my knees knocking in my pants, and you can't see that I'm sweating profusely. I get up here, and Dave Hansen is really good at saying, you gotta fake it till you make it. So Amen, when you say you're afraid to stand here, so am I. And I think many of us who come here are. It's just a matter of mere repetition. You just keep doing this over and over again, and the fear becomes so regular that you kind of get used to it. And then all of a sudden you're able to speak, and you're able to look at the camera, and you're able to look at each other and maintain eye contact and actually maybe give a meaningful message. The key to Chamber Toastmasters and all of Toastmasters for me, it helps me overcome fear of myself, fear of each other, fear of communicating. And when we can communicate with each other, we have a positive impact on the world. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be one of my favorite people in the world, and I haven't seen him in years. Please welcome Clint Calvert.
Morning, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. I was a member of this club for about 20 years, and my attendance fell off over COVID in a terrible way. I felt a lot like a church member who hadn't gone to church. And so as a pastor, we have kind of a joke when we have these people who attend church only at Easter and Christmas. And it takes everything within me not to wish some people a Merry Christmas when I see them at Easter, because I know that's going to be the next time that I'm going to see them again. And so now the joke is on me. So I feel very much like the Easter and Christmas attendant. But I do want to take a serious moment just to say that, remind us of two people that meant an awful lot to me that have passed on. One is Jim Fibke, Jim was a longtime member of our club, and he'll be missed. And the other is John Cossey. And John really was my inspiration to pursue a distinguished Toastmaster. I saw that on his wall. And when he was taken from us in an untimely death that we weren't expecting. And around that time, I decided that that's something that I wanted to pursue. So thank you, Chamber Toastmasters.
Our third testimonial is from Hannah Ilsoff. Welcome, Hannah.
Friends, that's what you are, at your Toastmasters. And I put in back of my book, the publisher, I said, he can do whatever he wants, but on back of my book, I found in front, I wanted my bike and me in it. And in back of my book, I wanted Andrew Carpenter. America saved our family's life, literally. And I tell you quickly how the story went. 3 houses down from where I grew up lived the SS man, and they are the worst of the Nazis. You don't know he was one of them. Nobody knows he's one of them. And he lived his life like any other German guy. For whatever reason, when he was on his deathbed, he called my dad to his bedside. And he said, you're lucky the Americans came. I had orders. For whatever reason, he told him that. I had orders to load you on a truck and send you to Siberia. It could have been the next day. And that's why I'm so grateful. And that's why I give the books away. I'm that grateful to the American people. Secondly, Toastmasters saved my soul. They really did. And I gave a talk at the Chattree Lions Club. And the real religious man. And he said one day, I met at a bank, I want to talk to you. Only Jesus can save your soul. I said, I looked that word up everywhere. It can mean anything. Essence of self, a Toastmaster gave me that word to help me out. So I put in back in parentheses, essence of self. But you literally saved my soul. I couldn't say my name in front of people. And I'm a slow learner. And I owe my membership to Toastmasters the rest of my life. And thirdly, Lions gave me a purpose. And they did. And that's my story.
Thank you, Hannah. Now in Zoom, I was looking for you, Fozzie, in the room. I thought I had already seen you in person. It's so scary how my mind works. But we'll ask Fozzie to give his story. Fozzie.
Good morning, my fellow Toastmasters. I'm reaching you from Atlanta. I'm here for my first grandson, Leif Erickson. So that's a good news to share with you. The other thing is that I wanted to let you know that I'm a victim also. I'm a victim of Ricky's kindness. In 2014, I had the opportunity to go to with my son, to go to his place, Cycle City. And I started, he approached me. I was waiting for my son to get something over there, and Rick reached me and started the conversation. And after a few minutes, he called me that, he told me that you have a sickness. And I was wondering what he's talking about. So, so later we started talking about, he started talking about Toastmasters, and he invited me to the Toastmasters. I want to keep it short, but that was the best thing that has happened to me. I was going through the difficult time at that time. And the first time that I attended the Toastmasters, but for me was, boy, this is heaven. I can meet other people with a variety of ideas and perspective of life. And since that time, really every time that I attend the Toastmasters meeting, it's just the best time of the week for me, the best day of the week for me when I'm attending the Toastmasters. And thanks for this opportunity. This is a great group of people to know and participate. And thanks for this opportunity. Thank you.
Fuzzy. Some of my favorite Toastmaster speeches have been Fozzie's home improvement speeches. Even now at home, if something goes wrong, we say, son of a bitch, shit. It's a thing in my family now. Next, we have Rebecca. Rebecca, would you like to share?
Yes, and I'll keep it brief. I was going to give Rick one of my favorite new golf jokes, but I don't think I'm going to have the time, so I guess I have to catch him later. There are 3 things that I want to just say on behalf of not just the people who are current members or past members, but for everyone who's relatively new to the club. I love that Mike says fear becomes a regular thing, that you become used to fear, but I would almost argue with that, because what I think about Toastmasters is when you do something often enough, when you do something that scares you often enough, and the feared outcome, whatever you think is going to happen that makes you afraid of public speaking, doesn't happen, you suddenly realize that it's not so scary anymore. And one thing that I've really appreciated the whole time I've been a part of this club is that it is a very safe space. We have people from all different countries, people who speak all different languages as their first language, people who come from all different states and have all different kinds of beliefs, and they get to come here and express ideas and practice a skill set that really all of us should have in our daily lives, not just at work. And we really try to build each other up and make each other feel better about that skill. The second thing I really want to say is this applies not just in Toastmasters, but this applies to every time you public speak. And I would hope that this makes people feel less afraid. When you get up to speak, the people listening to you want you to succeed. They want you to do well. They don't want you to bomb. They don't want you to forget your lines. They don't want things to go badly for you. And so if anything, every time you get up to public speak, you have a support system of people that just want your success and want you to give a good speech. And the last thing that I just wanted to say is the whole purpose of Toastmasters, yes, it's to work on public speaking, but at the base of that, at the heart of that, it's really about building your sense of confidence and self-worth. I've met so many people, whether it's from when I was competing in speech back in high school or in college or coaching, or even now I judge speech tournaments and I see high school students, and you just see the students that feel like they do really well and how they carry themselves versus the kids that don't place every week at a tournament. And this carries into our adult lives. If we don't feel like we're good at public speaking, or if we don't feel like we can communicate our thoughts and ideas clearly and well to groups of people like we want to, it changes the way that we feel about ourselves because we project what other people are going to think about us. And we hope that this group is something that really allows you to build that sense of confidence and that you feel like you have the support system of people who only want that best for you. So I hope that that makes everyone feel good and confident, and just that this is a really cool place where people just want you to do well. We just want you to be happy and be confident. So Christy, I'll hand this back to you.
Our last person who'd like to share is Carpiga Moran. Carpiga.
Hey, hi Christy, good morning. And I joined this club in 2001, like I said, and I had no goals. That's why I'm still in the club, because I have no goals. I love to speak. I love to speak. I still miss the conference room, but I now welcome this change of virtual. Otherwise, I would have missed the meeting today. Wait, I got up so late. I wish I could be there because I would love to see Ross and Clint, because I have not seen them in ages. Hey, if you're, sorry, I don't think I can rush and make it that way. I'm not the guys who can just get in. I need to dress up to come out, so I can't be. And people talked about fear of speaking. As I said, I joined without goals. The one thing I realized as I was attending the club is table topics. I used to be so scared. Oh, they're not going to go. Don't call me. But I realized I started enjoying table topics, because the one thing Toastmasters, especially this club, teaches you is you can come, make a fool of yourself, in front of them, behind the microphone, with a smile, and walk happily back to your seat. Here I am, walking back happily, sitting happily in my seat. If I made a fool of myself, hey, that's the fun part. Back to the Kirsty.
Thank you to Tim for letting us get so behind. I felt like it was worth it. Thank you.
Chrissy, thanks for leading that today. So this point, we'll go into the evaluation portion of our meeting today, where we'll get an evaluation of Rick's speech and get reports of the meeting as a whole. And today, evaluating Rick's speech is Ann Simmerlink. Help me welcome Ann.
I wrote down my notes. We were naive to believe that none of this change could touch us. We were naive to believe that none of this change could touch us. These words are the kernel, I believe, of Rick's speech today. But it was more than a speech. Brilliantly, Rick, your speeches are often a social commentary, which have been marinated or bathed in a historical perspective. The privilege we had today was listening to someone who articulated these changes so well. The internet, the advent of smartphones, the horrendous 9/11, and the COVID plague. I have only been in Chamber Toastmasters for 3 years, but it was a pleasure today listening to the perspective of a charter member who has been in Chamber for over 30 years. Your perspective never leaves us behind when it comes to insight for the changes of our lives. Finally, I will add, in listening to people's testimonies today about how meaningful Toastmasters has been for them, as Rebecca said, it's a very safe space. I think it's safe to say that a number of us have been involved in this group while navigating many personal changes, myself included. This is a very safe space for collectively navigating societal changes and our personal changes. Chamber Toastmasters is a very safe space. As Dorothy said from The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home.
And thank you for the evaluation. And at this point, we'll ask for a timer's report. Polly, is this the first time that you have served as timer for our club?
Yes, it is, and navigating Zoom at the same time.
Well, let's give her a round of applause. Her first time as timer.
Thank you. So as timer, I will time the table topics, formal speeches, the evaluations, and today we also did testimonials. The green, yellow, and red lights denote specific times remaining. Green is you met the goal, yellow wrap it up, red time's up. So we have speaker number 1 at 7:15, evaluator number 1 at 1:36, table topic number 1 at 1:20, number 2 at 20. Well, we had Amen and Dawn, and Amen was asked to do 30 seconds and she did 27 seconds. And Dawn did 52 seconds. So combined, they were excellent. Julia and Annie, Julia at 1:34, Annie at 59 seconds. Combined, they were excellent. Human Master came in excellent. Clint at 1:10, Hannah at 2:20, Fozzie at 2 minutes, Rebecca at 2:40, Carpingham at 1:26, and Mike at 50 seconds. So all did great today. Thank you.
Polly, thank you. At this point, I'll ask for our outcomes report from Ruth Poole. Help me welcome Ruth.
Thank you, Tim. I have to say, we were a bit behind today in our usage of fillers and and ahs. It was crazy. I almost got bored. Fozzie, I can usually count on you for a bunch of them, but you didn't. You let me down today. You only had a couple of and ahs, and it's a great job, Fozzie. A bunch of people were just totally clean. I didn't hear anything. A few uses of so and so. And speaking of behind, sometimes we take the word but and then we stretch it out, but. So just watch out for those a little bit. Yeah. Otherwise, a really good meeting today, really good speaking and really good uses of pauses rather than filler words.
Thank you. And at this point, I'll ask for the grammarian's report from Donnie Rolls. And Donnie, we have not introduced a key person in this meeting yet. We need to introduce Bernard to the group today.
Thank you. I'm Donnie. I'm the grammarian, and today we have the word behind, and so that's what we're trying to get everybody to say. And if you didn't say behind, this is Bernard. Oh wow, this is Bernard. We're supposed to put $1 into Bernard every time for every person that doesn't say the word of the day. This is the least enforced rule in Toastmasters, and if we actually enforce this rule, we'd have a huge budget surplus every year. But good job today. Congrats to the people who used the word behind today: Hannah, Pali, Fazi, Amen, Andon, Vivian, Enrica, Christy, Ann, and Ruth. Some great uses of language today. Rick had some really compelling stuff. He said the internet was the death sound of the encyclopedia, something along those lines. That's a paraphrase. And he also said, embrace the good stuff and try to control the bad stuff. Ross, I loved his line when talking about his father and mother. He said, my mother is a youngster comparatively. She's 98. That was great. And then Mike Winkle's a line, when we communicate with each other, we can change the world. So a lot of great lines today. And that's the grammarian's report. Back to you.
Could you have this agenda up for next week so we can run through that in a minute? Is there any club business we need to talk about today as part of our meeting today? Hearing none, let's go through the agenda, then I'll ask our general evaluator to come up. Harpagam, is Harpagam still in line?
I'm here.
You want to run through the agenda? It's up on the screen.
Okay, let me do it. Okay, I'll be there. Ruth, will you be there as a humor master?
Yes, I will.
Shelley, as a speaker number 1. Shelley? Okay, maybe she left. Dina Lynn, speaker number 2.
Yes.
Okay, Marie, she's not here. Rick, can I count on you?
Rick said yes.
Okay, Tim, how about you?
Yes.
Eric?
Yeah.
Is Pauline in today? I don't
No.
remember here. Rebecca, how about you?
I have a meeting next week. I will not be able to be here.
Okay, any takers for grammarian?
Mike Winkles had his hand up first.
Okay, Mike Winkles is the grammarian. And can you be the general evaluator?
That's a yes.
Okay, so I just need to confirm with a couple of folks. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Tim.
Okay, great. Thanks for going through that. At this point, it's my honor to introduce our current club president, Eric Getz, to do our general evaluation today. Help me welcome Eric.
Thank you very much, Tim. I am your general evaluator. The general evaluator's part in this meeting is to evaluate the meeting as a whole. And I know that I could go on for about 5 minutes here for such a fantastic meeting, but I won't. I'll try to keep it very concise here today. First of all, a quick testimonial. I was invited about 6 years ago by Nee to this meeting. Nee invited me. I thought it was a great meeting. I thought it was awesome. I didn't join right away. Instead, I had a chance to meet with some of the members of the group, Rick being one of them, and they convinced me to come back and check it out again. And I can specifically remember our Toastmaster here today getting up here, and what's the guy's name again? Karnak. And he did a speech with Karnak, and it was one of the greatest things that I ever saw. And I'm like, wow, I can learn something, absolutely learn something from this group, and I joined. So we all have a story, and I have learned a lot. I've had a lot of people come up to me recently and say, what's changed about you? Last time I heard you speak, you weren't quite this polished. And I've been able to give that to this group and Toastmasters. So thank you, Toastmasters. So as my general evaluation, Tim, great start to the meeting. He was ready. He was concise. He let everybody know this is what's going to happen today. This is what you should expect. So great job in that, Tim. Great way to keep all the introductions short too. We had a lot of people to get through, a lot of people to introduce. Introducing the charter members as you introduced Rick in his speech, and then saying that Rick's going to get up here and speak. Rick, some things I loved about your speech. You talked about the internet, the cell phones, 9/11, COVID-19, and then you said, "What's next?" and you paused. I love those things in a speech because you really drag people in when you say things like that. Ross, I loved having you get up here, talk about the longevity of your parents. Amen and Andon, so great to hear from both of you. Julia and Annie, great to hear from both of you as well. All the testimonials were fantastic. I loved hearing everybody's story when it came to Toastmasters. And you gave such a concise evaluation. I loved the feedback that you gave, so colorful with the language that you used. And then I just want to share a couple extra things. Number one is I loved being president this year. It's so awesome to see that today we had somebody from Beijing, China. We had somebody from Manila, Philippines. We had someone from Minsk, Belarus. Hopefully I'm saying all these correct. We had somebody from California. I know that's not another country, but Andon, thank you for being here. And then all the represented countries that we've had since I've been a part of this group. I don't think I've been anywhere where I've been able to meet so many people from so many other countries. I'm just going to name a few. I'm sure I'm going to miss some, but Germany, Iran, Mexico, Sudan, Vietnam, India, Pakistan. Again, I know I'm missing some. And then of course you have the Toastmaster and myself from the country of South Dakota. It's just a completely different place. And then one of the best things I've learned as I wrap this up, when you get up here and your knees are knocking and you're thinking that you're nervous and you're not sure if you're going to make it through, something I was taught, trick your brain. That same feeling that you get when you're nervous is the same feeling you get when you're excited. Just tell yourself, nope, I'm just excited to be here. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. David, we've shown, like, can we take like the timer cam and just like show the room to the people what we've done for decorating? I don't know if they've seen it or not. Can you So my thanks to Dave, Craig, Ruth, everybody who helped set up and decorate today.
There you are.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Again, for our guests joining us online, if you want to continue the discussion, signify, raise your hand. We will start a breakout session. You can talk with Rebecca if you have questions about us as a club, about joining Toastmasters, just want to continue the chat. We'll set up a breakout session and raise your hand and we'll continue that. Well, for the people in the room, there's food here. Hang around, say hi, help eat the food. So anyway, it's been a great morning. Thanks everyone for joining. It's been great to be part of this club for my time. I'm looking forward to doing this again in, who knows, 5 years? It'd be great. All right, thanks again for joining us. Have a great day and great week.